Welcome. So, if you're tuning in, I hope you're doing well. Not if you're tuning in, if you're listening to this, you're here. So, welcome. So, Wednesday, I'd like to start making it a goal, and I hope to be able to continue it, to do um, tips, tricks, and fun flips. And I have a crazy kitty here who will not leave me alone. So, this is Grim. And she's named Grimmy because she looks like a little gremlin when she's a baby. She got grimy eyes, but she's the sweetest cat and will not leave me alone. so, um, rescued her. She was one of the first cat, first individual I met when moving to Texas. Her and her sister were teeny tiny babies just opening their eyes, and we lost her sister to some wild dogs. Very sad, but after that, I never let her out of the house again. So Grimmy has become my own little kitty cat, house cat. Anyway, back to reselling. So Wednesdays, I would like to. So here's going to be the spiel, I guess. Sundays, I'm going to offer up to you for your consideration a Bible study rooted and grounded in love, verse by verse. And you can see those videos as well. On Wednesday, I'd like to put out a little, these are going to be short, hopefully, not more than 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, on tips and tricks and fun flips and stuff from my reselling life. And then on Friday, I'd like to do, I love calling Friday Fun Day. I used to be what I'd say when I get off work on Fridays, but which may end up being the case again. I might have to go back to work, unfortunately. But in the meantime, the plan is to also do Fun Day Friday where I will share my writing, my creative side of me, books I'm reading, book reviews, books I've started. Maybe I'll even share pieces of novellas and books that I have written or are in progress, work in progress. And just, sharing that creative side of myself that God has put in me and in you, because we are all creators in some way. And so Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, that's 3 a week. That may be a little ambitious, but there's so many things that I'd like to share, and they're all individual. I can put them into 3 individual buckets. I'd love to share more about my love of the Word of God and offer just tidbits and helpful hints and things that might encourage you to dive deeper and meditate on the Word of God. Reselling is a way of redeeming things for me. I believe that in the power of redemption, because I'm saved by grace. And so when I go into thrift stores, a lot of times I pray before I go in. I try to always pray before I go in, and I ask the Lord to show me what in here is valuable that somebody else is looking for. That's my prayer. And so many times I've walked in and I'll be scanning a shelf and I don't know why something just kind of stands out. But sure enough, somebody will buy it and they'll say, I have been looking for this, or my mom and dad used to have one of these, or there's a story behind it. So that has made their day better, and it makes mine better because I was open to go out and do that. Besides the fact, I've always thrifted. I remember going thrifting with babysitting money at a Salvation Army in a little bitty town in California, and we didn't have a lot of money, so that's how we got our clothes. That's how we did it. And then when we did have a lot of money, my husband and I still thrifted. I would rather go to the thrift store. I hated spending a lot of money when I knew I could go get it a lot cheaper. So yeah, it's been a lifetime love of mine, and I know it is for many people. And I was so shocked years ago when it started becoming such a thing, when it used to be such a, like, you hid it, you didn't tell anybody. And people made fun of you in school if they knew you had thrift store clothes on. And it was more of a stigma thing than a thing that you could brag about. I got to the point, though, I did brag about it a lot, especially in my 20s. I don't know. I just got kind of rebellious in that way. Sorry, my cat's kind of begging again. And anyhow, I'm glad that stigma, and there's a whole revolution of people who will, are very proud thrifters and resellers. So no shame in my game, right? So I'd like to get, my last video was a thrift haul video from a little road trip I took with my daughter to Brownwood, Texas. And we went to a really cool bookstore, and those videos are there, the Intermission Bookstore. I'm not a great filmer, I gotta say. In fact, this background behind me, as you can see, that is actually, yeah, it's kind of blown up, but I was looking for a fall picture in my pictures, and this is as close as I could come to it. And this is like, I think, sagebrush or something, a picture I took in Texas. But anyway, I think it's as close to fall colors as I could find. And I'm having fun with changing backgrounds. So who knows what picture you might see in the back of me. And then I did, the very first video I did was about my experiences with using AI. I created on chat, you can create your own little AI chat buddy. And I got cat hair in my mouth. I called it, no filter, man, my resale advisor. So what I wanted it to do was to help me when I was out in the thrift store picking things up, and should I buy or pass? Buy or pass? And I did that, and I thought it was helpful. It kept me, like, there's areas of the thrift store I didn't really gravitate to, but I liked the experiment. Will I use it more? Yeah, maybe, especially if I'm unsure, but I don't want to completely rely on that. I think us humans are better to rely on our instincts. If we do that, our instincts and prayer, our gut, if you will, our own knowledge, like I already know quality over quantity, right? Although I do have way too much low quality. I know better, but sometimes things just get away with you or from you and whatever, especially at the bins, right? So anyway, I do think it's helpful in those cases when you're unsure. Take a quick picture of the front of the garment, take a picture of the tag, and it's pretty informative. Sorry about Grimmy. And it can give you an insight into the item. Another thing that you can do also is you can go right to eBay and switch your app to photo and take a picture of the item and see what pops up. Now, I don't really think it's as useful as some people might proclaim it to be. This is my own opinion, of course, because I've done that, and yes, I have seen things, but a lot of times I didn't see anything that was actually that brand. And what I'm looking for when I take a picture of that brand, that label, I want to know where it's at in the spectrum of high-end, medium, and AI will tell you that. So that was helpful. But you can do that on eBay. You can also Google Lens, which that's what I started out doing, was Google Lensing everything. I was Google Lens crazy. So I do like my resale advisor for that. Also, another thing I like is that I can take up, just upload a picture of a garment and a tag and ask for a title, a description, ad rate, and suggested sell price. Now I say suggested because don't follow exactly what AI says all the time. Sometimes it's pretty close, but I have learned very quickly that it likes to go way high. And so it's better to do your own research through eBay. And you know what I do is I like to take the title, because it does use SEO. They do create strong titles for me. The one that I'm using, the ChatGPT Resale Advisor that I created, and you can do your own. You can put in your own perimeters and do that. But so what I do is I take that title and I put it into a new window on eBay, like I'm buying it, right? And I also will delete some of the words out of it, because somebody who's searching for an item is not going to use a whole title. They may use descriptive words. So get it down to the very descriptive words that you think a buyer might use, and see what pops up, see what's available, check those prices, and also see what's sold. And then you can kind of come to a happy medium, go a little high. But anyway, that's for resellers. If you're reselling or thinking about reselling, these tips and tricks might be helpful to you. So also, I use it for AI for the for things I've had a long time. I did a whole relist, sell similar, or donate. And honestly, it didn't tell me to donate that much. So I might just use my own discretion for that in the future, depending on length of time it's been on my shelf and how long I actually want to keep it. And again, that depends on the reseller, right? Some people want low quantity, so that they're more interested in flipping fast flips, right? And some people have a little room and they're more what they call a long tail seller. They take their time. They're not really selling it that fast. Isn't that big of a deal. Okay, so that's my AI update. I hope it was helpful. Again, I like the titles, the writing descriptions, the ad rate and the pricing. I keep that pretty much. I decide that, and definitely always double check prices compared to what AI says. So now I thought I would just, during these little ones, I would offer up 3 or more of my favorite things that I cannot live without as a reseller. And I'm just going to show them to you. I don't know if that's okay to share the brand, but I'm going to. I hope that's okay. But I'll just say disinfectant wipes. How's that? And I usually have the bigger one, but I ran out, so I just had to run to the local store, and I only have a small local store. So anyway, disinfectant wipes. I like to wipe down everything that is wipeable, that you can wipe down. And these are really good for that. So disinfectant wipes. I don't know. Another one I love is this stuff from, it's Bounce. I don't know if that's okay to say. Rapid Touch Up. It releases wrinkles, is 3-in-1, eliminates odors, and freshens rooms, and removes static. So when I clean, even when I've laundered and cleaned something, or hand washed it, whatever, sometimes I might have a little static. But what I noticed, I also have a steamer, which it's called the Bear, and I love it. It's a thumbs up. You can get it on Amazon, BEAR. And I really searched a lot, and I did buy one a few years ago now. It's probably been, I don't know, over 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I ended up donating it. It had good reviews, but it just did not do what I wanted it to do. It didn't seem to work right. I went back to the old-fashioned ironing board and iron and did everything that way. And then my daughter kind of talked me into trying this other steamer that we have. But anyway, and I actually liked it, but it's a long one that you use like on your curtains and stuff. And it does come apart, so you can actually attach it, and it's for the floor. But I was using the other piece of it, not the one for the floor, but there's a piece you can attach to it, and it's smaller, and you can use it on curtains and larger items like that, larger. Anyway, so I kind of got I do like that steamer. So I just realized I didn't have my earbuds in, and I hope you can hear me okay after all this. So anyway, I did buy the Bear, and it does work good, but linen is still really hard to get the wrinkles out of. So I spray lightly, very misted light with this Bounce Rapid Touch Up, and I had a hard time finding it the last time. And anyway, and then I steam it after it dries, and it just worked so great. It took the, we got a visitor, and it really did take the wrinkles out of linen. So I hope that helps. Even if you don't resell, that's a tidbit for you. This stuff is amazing. And I'll tell you, the OxyClean Max Force, and I have used other ones that were OxyClean, but they didn't work as good as this one. And it says spray now and wash up to 7 days later. I don't know why you would wait that long, but I had been to the bins. This is a recent story. So I had been to the bins, and I had a jacket. I'm going to crosswire a story here. This was okay. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So I thought I was all out of stuff to resell, but I kept getting like a check the bin in the storage, check the bin in the storage. And I was like, what? And I was like, Lord, did I forget something in there? And sure enough, I had forgotten that last winter when my daughter and I went to the Lubbock bins, Goodwill bins, I had separated the summer and spring and the fall and winter clothes. And I had put all the winter stuff in to pull out like into August, September, and I was just listing from the spring and summer around March. And the reason being is because I had a huge like clothes rack of clothes and things to list. I was like behind the ball on it, and I forgot. I went and I was like, well, I'm just going to check. It just keeps coming up. I don't know if the Lord is nudging me. So I went and checked, and sure enough, that thing was full of clothes and good ones to sell. And I was like, oh, there's a really cute Bobby Brooks vintage blouse in there for women, and it's Halloween themed. It's got little ghosts. Now I don't do Halloween, but it was so cute and it's vintage, and I thought sure enough it would sell. So it's for sale on eBay right now, and I don't know if it's going to make it out of here before that day comes, but it'll be there. Anyway, there's a really pretty jacket in there, multiples, and it looked clean. It did. And I was looking it over, and then I saw the collar. And honestly, I've never seen a collar that dirty in my life. Not even with my husband, who was a welder. So I don't know. But I was like, wow, okay, this has to be cleaned. And I do clean all of them, but I mean, this was like, we're going to have to use this on it. And I did. And I sprayed it, and I kind of just pat it down in there. Let it sit for about 20 minutes or so. I can't remember how long I let it sit. Probably longer than that, because I did a load of laundry, and I put that in there, and it came out so nice. It's nice and clean. You don't have makeup back there, but it was so dark it looked like makeup. I do not know. Texas dirt is all I can say. Anyway, this stuff is great. I haven't used it on blood. I don't know about that. And I don't know about grass stains, but I do know that this cleaned a nasty net collar dirty. It was so nasty. Anyway, the other thing I really love is this from Pledge multi-surface cleaner. It's also antibacterial, so anything like frames with glass and wood, I can just spray it and it just cleans everything so nice. I don't know, you probably have used it, but these are like 4 of my favorite like cleaning items to surface clean something. Of course, for shoes, I typically use a damp cloth, or I get those white erasers and do this around the soles, the white part. There are shoes I've had to soak and clean, but I don't do a lot of shoes. So those are 3, and no, 4. Sorry about that. Well, I have to add another one, a lint roller. Who can live without a lint roller, right? And measuring tapes. Okay, here we go. Here's bonus tips for you. I have a industrial measuring tape and a cloth measuring tape, and I use those both. Packing tape, a scale, poly bags, definitely. So if you are interested in reselling and you do have a question about those, or just in general about tools that you aren't sure you should have, feel free to ask in the comments. I'll try to get to that. So this week I did have fun flips. And I'm going to try to show pictures. Hopefully I'll do this, right? This is Scooby-Doo Talking Snack Maker. I paid $5 for it at an estate sale, and applause, it sold for $63.75. It was on sale, 15% off. And I do run a lot of sales right now, 15, 20, and 25% off. I also sold a Christmas lot. Now, the thing about the Christmas lot, and hopefully I can share that too, Christmas lot. The reason it was a fun flip is that I had actually bought a huge lot of Christmas stuff when I still lived in Minnesota, and it was big, and it was through the Goodwill auction, which when it first started, I loved it. And now, I don't want to say it's a racket, but it feels like a racket. They did have like bulk items, and they were really good buys. I bought several bulk clothes, women's Talbots. Most of them were new with tags. And when I was still in Minnesota, I bought another one of sportswear. I got FunJoy in that, or what is it? FunJoy? Something anyway. It's golfing gear. I got a lot of really cool Y2K stuff in there, and I sold pretty much all of it very quickly. But now when I go on there, it's like their bulks are like 6 pieces of clothes, or a small thing of this or small thing of that. And, you know, okay, you do what you need to do. You need the money, you go for it. I'm not going to have an opinion about it. There's enough opinions out there about how Goodwill is doing business these days. So I don't really like to add to noise. So there's enough noise on that. But the Christmas lot was all the stuff that I had not sold yet. And I decided to just bunch it together because I literally made my money back on the original purchase time out, And I thought I would pass this on as a kind of a low value gift to somebody else that they could buy and make some money off of. So I ended up selling it, 40 plus pieces, and I sold that for $25, and that was fun. I was glad to. I had it listed for $40, and I took a $25 offer. So, yeah, Christmas lot, 40 plus pieces, and then this was also part of that original lot, the big lot, and it was Coldwater Creek, and it's hopefully I can put the picture in here. I'm gonna try, folks. Coldwater Creek, and it's a snowman set of earrings and necklace. Super cute, kind of sparkly. The body's kind of turned, and it was on sale for $9.71, and an individual bought that. Now the next one is a vintage Ralph Lauren jacket. It's tweed and it's men's, and this was one of the first things that the AI told me to buy. I'm sorry. And when I was that was my first adventure with the buyer pass, and AI was like, buy, and it gets very excited for you. AI can be very exciting. They get very excited. That's fire. They put little fire signs up and all kinds of things. So it was on sale half price day for $5, and I sold it for $34.50. So those are fun flips. I had a better week than I've had in quite a while, but I've been running a lot of sales and trying to just get traction going again. And I think it worked. I think having those sales has helped out. And when you pay $5 and you're making almost $35, it's completely worth it. I mentioned in the beginning, I believe that faith and creativity is a reflection of God in us. And it's like a golden thread. Finding treasure in the unwanted reminds me that God never sees anyone or anything beyond redemption. As beyond redemption, I should say. And I just want to encourage you to look for those areas in your own life that God is redeeming. And God's provision. I didn't really have the money right now to go out and do any flipping, even though I've made some sales. Times are hard, Charlie. But God reminded me about the bin that I had in the storage I'd completely forgot about. So I just want to leave this with you. God is in the business of redeeming what's been cast aside. And if you feel cast aside, he sees you. And that truth spills into every part of our lives. I hope that I will see you back again. And thanks for hanging out with me. I hope I get those pictures up and everything works out. Hey, you never know what background I'm going to have, so you don't want to miss that, of course. I'm learning, right? We're learning as we're growing. All right, take care, and God bless you. Bye.